My wife and her army boyfriend framed me for a crime I didn't commit. She called me dangerous, he played the victim. They forgot one thing: Marines don't forgive, we retaliate. My name is Staff Sergeant Logan Hale, Infantry. 1st MAR Div. Camp Pendleton. 12 years in. Enough that the Corps is in my bones and my knees, but not enough to retire. 2 real combat tours, a couple of dusty nothing deployments, 1 disaster relief thing that still smelled like diesel and wet plywood. Not a boot, not a dinosaur. Just a regular Marine NCO who shows up, trains his guys, and tries not to get NJP'd over stupid barracks drama. And I almost lost all of it: my career, my kid, my name, not to the enemy, not to a bad shoot, not to drugs or a DUI, but to my wife and an army captain who wanted my family. This is that story. And I'm telling it here because too many dudes in uniform think, if I just stay good and stay quiet, the truth will sort itself out. Nah. Sometimes the truth needs you to drag it into daylight. Sometimes you need a corpsman's little sister, an old warrant officer with a grudge, and a hidden green notebook in the attic. Sometimes you need to be petty, organized, and stubborn as hell. This is long. I warned you. January 19th, 2024. Oceanside. Cool night, salt in the air, post-rain. You could hear Highway 5 from base housing like a low ocean. I was supposed to have a chill Friday. My plan: pick up my kid, Micah, 7. Feed him pizza. Build Lego. Maybe watch How to Train Your Dragon for the 900th time. Fall asleep on the couch. My wife, Emma, had girls' night. She was already dressed when I came back from formation. Jeans, tan boots, white sweater, hair done in that messy up but not really messy thing. Makeup more than usual. Perfume. I clocked it. You look nice, I said, putting my cover on the counter. Thanks, she said, not really looking at me, scrolling her phone. It's just Ashley and them. Cool. I grabbed Micah, who was in Dino pajamas at 17:30 because he's consistent like that. We built a Lego Jeep on the floor. At 1,800 she popped in. Hey, can you go grab milk? I forgot. I literally looked at the fridge. There was half a gallon. But I was like, whatever, happy wife, happy life, all that crap they tell us. You leaving now? I asked. In a bit. I'll probably Uber. I don't want to park downtown. Okay. I put on a hoodie, grabbed the keys, kissed Micah's head, told him. I'll be right back, bud. Neighbor across the cul-de-sac, retired Gunny Harkins, was on his porch smoking, nodded at me. Walmart was packed. Payday Friday. I was gone maybe 20 minutes. When I came back, her car was gone. Cool, she left. I made pizza. Micah talked about 2nd grade drama. We watched YouTube videos about Marines in dress blues. He's obsessed. And he goes, when I'm big, I'm going to be a Marine like you, Daddy. Tell me that, and then tell me I'm going to let an Army officer take that kid. Anyway, 20:30, my phone buzzes. It's one of my corporals. Staff Sergeant, you out? We're at Breakwater. LT said pull up. I look at the clock, look at Micah, look at myself. Nah. Can't tonight, I text. Got the boy. Roger. If that text thread didn't exist, I'd probably still be in the brig. Because at 21:20 a white car with blue lights rolled slow through base housing. Then circled. Then stopped. Then 2 MPs got out and came to my door. Staff Sergeant Hale? Yeah. We need you to come with us. For what? Assault. At Breakwater. I wasn't at Breakwater. Your wife says you were. That's when the floor dropped out. I got Harkins to stay with Micah. I grabbed my wallet. I walked out in cuffs. My kid watched through the window. The NCIS building on base looks exactly like what you think. Too clean, too fluorescent, smells like someone mopped 5 minutes ago. They sat me in the little room. Camera in the corner. Table bolted to floor. Special Agent Lopez came in. Latina, 40s, sharp eyes. Not mean, just I've heard every Marine lie. Staff Sergeant Hale, I'm Special Agent Lopez, this is being recorded. You're not under arrest yet, but we need to ask you some questions about an incident at Breakwater. I wasn't there. Your wife says you were. She read me my rights. I signed because I'm still stupidly trusting at this point. Where were you tonight between 20:30 and 2100? Home. With my son. Neighbor saw me. Your wife says you left angry. I left at 1800 to buy milk. She says you and she were arguing about your drinking. I don't drink. She says you've been jealous of a man named Captain Blake Mercer, U.S. Army. I blink. Who? He was with your wife tonight. He's currently at Tri-City Medical with a head injury. He says you attacked him in the restroom. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was insane. I've never met this man, I said. How could I attack someone I've never met? Your wife says you've been following them. My throat actually went dry. Following them? I repeated. Yes. Like they were together. She says he's a friend. I looked at the table. He's not a friend, I said. He's the replacement. Lopez didn't say anything. He says you punched him, knocked him into the sink, and he hit his head on the tile. I was at home. Can anyone confirm? My neighbor. My son. Your neighbor is good. Your son is 7. Your wife is a legal adult who says you were there. She's lying. Why would she lie? I stared at her. To get rid of me. How do you end up in the brig for something you didn't do? Because a commissioned officer said I did it. Because my wife said I did it. Because domestic violence adjacent allegations plus an injured officer equals. We're not taking chances. My CO came in the next morning, before I even got a toothbrush. Hale, he said, standing like he was talking to a recruit. I don't know what happened, but this is bad. Sir, I did not assault that man. Your wife says you did. With respect, sir, my wife is lying. He didn't like that. You need to get your affairs in order, he said. This might be a court-martial. And then I was marched to the brig. You know what sucks? You go from Staff Sergeant Hale, mentor, leader, salty but fair, to inmate Hale. Orange jumpsuit. Boots taken. Phone gone. Pay frozen. Your whole life stops. Except hers. Hers kept going. What she did while I was locked up. I didn't know this in real time. I pieced it together after. But the second I got locked up, she emptied our joint account, moved into a nicer rental for safety, posted on Facebook. Domestic violence is real in the military. Please don't ask questions. We are safe now. Pray for Micah. Broken heart. She posted a photo of my son at the beach with Captain Blake, replacement Mercer, captioned. So grateful for good men who step up. That last one. That's the one that made me go from hurt to hate. You do not post my kid with the man who framed me. How I knew she was capable of this. Everyone asks, didn't you see the signs? Not this level. But yeah, there was drift. When we got married, she loved the Marine thing. She loved the pride, the blues, the my husband's deployed, I'm strong posts. She loved the FRG wives group, the sense of belonging. But 12 years in infantry, I was gone a lot. She started saying things like, the Army gets better housing. Army wives don't have to deal with deployments this often. Blake, he's Army, but he's not like Army. He gets more weekends than you. I just want stability, Logan. That word. Stability. But she didn't want to be a single mom. She didn't want to be the bad guy. She didn't want to be the wife who left her Marine husband for another man. So what's an easier story? He's violent. He snapped. We had to go. She didn't just cheat. She wanted a clean exit. And the Army guy knew the system well enough to weaponize it. Day 10 in the brig, visitor list. HM3 Lillian Brooks. My half-sister. Navy corpsman. 22, too good for this earth. She walks in, eyes glassy already. Logan. Hey, squirt. She sits. Looks at me like I've been shot. I knew you didn't do it, she says immediately. I knew it. Appreciate that, I say, trying to act like I'm fine. Everyone's talking, she says. Emma's saying you snapped because of your PTSD. I don't have PTSD. She said you threw a chair across the room. I moved a chair once. She snorts through tears. She said you punched the wall. I was hanging a pull-up bar. We both laugh way too hard for jail. Then she goes quiet. She's with him, she whispers. Like with him. I stare. She picked Mike up from school with him, she says. Like they're a family. My jaw clenches. She told Mom you finally broke. I look at the glass. I didn't break, I say. I got set up. Then we unset it. You can't mess with NCS, Lil. I'm not. I'm just looking. Looking for what? She leans in. You always hide stuff, she says. In the garage. In the attic. In the sea bag you say is old gear. You think we don't know. I can't help it. I grin. Did you find it? I ask. She grins back. Oh yeah, she says. I found your little green Marine notebook. 2 months before I got arrested, I got that gut feeling. If you've deployed, you know it. That low background hum of something's off. She was going out more. She was dressing nicer. She made a comment once. And it stuck in my head. We were watching TV and some Army dude came on and she said, Ugh, I love those uniforms. They look so put together. Then looked at me. Marines always look like you're either deploying or hungover. It was a joke, but from a different place. So I did what I tell boot Marines to do when they're in a toxic situation. I documented. November 7th, late home from Target, hair smelled like men's cologne. November 9th, mentioned Blake from Joint Exercise Office. November 15th, said if something happens to you, do I still get BAH? November 21st, actual argument. Why can't you be more like Blake? He gets time with his kid. I dated it. Time-stamped it. Wrote what she said, what her face did. Then I hid it in the attic above the garage. Not because I thought I'd be framed. Because I thought one day she'd gaslight me, and I'd need to prove to myself I wasn't nuts. Turns out it proved to everyone else I wasn't nuts. Lily found it. But she also found something I didn't write. Tucked in the back, different pen, different handwriting. Emma's. It said, Blake says if he does it again, call immediately. He knows someone. Divorce will be messy. This will be easier. I just need to be brave. Lily showed me that line through the glass on her phone. I swear the room got colder. You have pictures? I asked. Uploaded to offsite, she said. Not on my phone. Not on yours. If they take my phone, they won't find it. You're a menace, I said. A menace who loves you, she said. Breakwater has cameras like every other bar near base. NCIS pulled the obvious ones. Main floor, front door, parking lot. They did not pull the one in the hallway to the bathrooms. Why? Because if your working theory is Marine husband stormed in and attacked the Army officer in a jealous rage, and the wife, the bartender, and the victim all say that, you don't go hunting for stuff that disproves it. You go. Got it. Case closed. But Lily's boyfriend works IT. For Breakwater. So he said, there's a fourth angle. He pulled it. What did it show? 2049. Emma and Captain Predaboy go down the hall, laughing. She touches his arm. He goes into men. She lingers, looks around, leaves frame. 2051. Big dude in black hoodie enters men. 2053. Captain comes out holding his head. No Marine. No me. Later, 2110-ish, same big dude in hoodie gets into Captain Mercer's truck. So let's summarize, Your Honor. Wife says Marine husband came and attacked Army captain. Video says, husband never showed / random large man did. Random large man leaves with captain. Captain reports, husband did this. Even NCS had to go. Okay, wait. This dude is important. Warrant Officer Marcus Dale. Used to be my platoon sergeant in Hellmand. Smart, calm, funny, could quote regs from memory. I once dragged him behind a wall when a PKM opened up. He told me, I owe you one, SSGT Hale. Lily called him. He said, email me everything. Don't use government systems. She did. Within 48 hours, he had the hallway footage, the photos of the green notebook, screenshots of Emma's FB posts, the weird note from Blake telling me to take the plea. He called NCIS and, from what I heard later, said something like, hey, I know y'all are busy, but you're about to NJP an innocent Marine because a horny Army officer wanted his wife. After that, the case was different. Agent Lopez came back to see me. Less smug. More irritated. Staff Sergeant, she said. Do you know a Warrant Officer Marcus Dale? Yes, ma'am. He's very involved. I almost smiled. Did you forget to tell us that your wife had been talking about making you look violent? She asked. You didn't ask, I said. She hated that answer. While I was in the brig, I got mail. Mostly from my sister. Once from my dad. Once from a lawyer. And once from someone who didn't put a return address. Folded. Plain. No frills. Inside. Stop making this about Emma. Take the damn deal. You'll be out in a year, and you can start over someplace else. Keep pushing, and we will make sure you never see Micah again. B. I took one look and laughed. Then I showed the brig officer. This is witness tampering. He shrugged. So I gave it to Lily. She sent it to Warrant Dale. And he said, oh cool, now we have intent. While I was in a 6x8 cell, she was going to the beach. While I was eating whatever that gray chicken was, she was eating tacos with an Army officer. While I was trying not to cry in front of other grown men, she was at Target buying throw pillows with him. She posted single mom life is hard, but God is good, while I was still paying her BH. She told people I was in Marine jail because of anger issues. She introduced him to my son as mommy's friend Blake. She tried to get my son to call him B. And I found out later that she was trying to get orders, she's a nurse, to Washington State and was telling people Logan is in jail. It's just me and Micah now. That's when my lawyer, civilian, filed an emergency thing in family court to stop interstate relocation. Judge said yes. She was pissed. Here's where it all blew open. NCIS started pressing her. They said, we have video that doesn't show your husband. We have text messages where you and Captain Mercer discussed him. We have a note from Captain Mercer to your husband. We have a notebook where you wrote you would call him if your husband got violent. She got rattled. When she gets rattled, she calls men. She called Blake. She put it on speaker. She cried. She said, they know. He said, we talked about this. She said, you said it would be easy. He said, it was easy until you opened your mouth. She said, did you really pay that guy? He said, I handled it, okay? You wanted him gone, I made it happen. She said, I didn't want him in jail. I just wanted him to leave. He said, this is cleaner. He gets kicked out, you get custody, we move on. She said, they said he wasn't there. He said, because your husband is short. My guy is tall. They'll think the camera angle is bad. She said, Blake. He said, Em, listen to me. You said he punched walls. You said he scared Micah. You said he was unstable. That is on you. I'm just protecting you. She said, I exaggerated. He said, not my problem. All of that. Recorded. Because my little sister was on FaceTime in the kitchen. They handed that to NCIS. NCIS handed it to CID, Army side. Game over. 41 days in the brig. Then one morning the door opened and the guard said, "Hale, gear up." My heart dropped, in a good way. They took me to admin. Legal officer was there. "Staff Sergeant, the government is dismissing the charges at this time due to new evidence. You are being released from pretrial confinement." I just stared. That's it. For now. Am I going back to my unit? Yes. Today? Yes. I walked out with a clear plastic bag of my crap. Lily was waiting in the parking lot. She ran to me and hugged me so hard my ribs hurt. "You did it," I said. "We did it," she said. Then I got in her car and said, "Take me home." And she said, "About that, because of the protective order she'd filed at the start, you know, the one based on lies, I couldn't go back into my own house." I stood on the sidewalk in front of base housing, watching my son's bedroom window, and I couldn't walk in. Her car wasn't there. His bike was. I could see through the window, new curtains, new pictures, different throw pillows. Not me and Micah at Legoland. Her and Captain Mercer at the pier. I actually laughed. "Come on," Lily said, touching my arm. "You can stay with me." "I'm not crashing at Balboa Barracks," I said. "Then stay with Harkins." Retired Gunny opened the door, looked me up and down, said, "You done playing jail?" "Yes, Gunny. Get in here. Guest room's yours. Don't touch my whiskey." Once the audio came out, the Army didn't protect him. CID charged him with conspiracy to commit assault, false official statement, obstruction, conduct unbecoming. They pulled his phone, found the cash app to his gym buddy, the big dude in the hoodie. Gym buddy folded like laundry. Yeah, he said his girl's Marine husband was dangerous and he needed to make it look like he snapped. He said, "Don't kill him, just make it look like a fight." He said he'd take care of the rest. When they asked him, "Why did you get into Captain Mercer's truck after?" He said he'd pay me the rest. So the victim was paying the assailant. That's not how assaults work. He got court-martialed. He lost his rank. He got 5 years. He cried. Not sorry crying. Got caught crying. A lot of guys want the woman in this kind of story drawn and quartered. I get it. She hurt me in a way a dude in a cave with an AK never could. She weaponized what people believe about Marines, angry, PTSD, violent, and used it to hand my life to another man. She almost got me kicked out with a bad conduct discharge. She almost made my kid grow up thinking I was dangerous. So yeah, I wanted her to hurt. But I also wanted my kid to have a mom. So here's what happened. NCIS referred her for making false statements. U.S. attorney took it as a misdemeanor, not a felony. She got probation, fine, community service. Family court looked at all of it and said, "Yeah, Dad's the more stable one." I got primary custody. She got every other weekend supervised until she rebuilt trust. She cried in court. I watched. Not to be cruel. To remember. Because people will try to rewrite history in 2 years and say, "It wasn't that bad." It was that bad. Supervised visitation center. Beige, echoey, smelled like disinfectant and crayons. He walked in holding her hand. He saw me. His whole face changed. "Daddy." "Yeah, bud." He ran. I scooped him. He buried his face in my neck. "You weren't bad," he whispered. "No," I said. "I wasn't bad. Mommy said you hurt someone." "I didn't. Mommy said you got mad." "I was sad," I said. "Not mad. Mommy said we needed someone safe." I swallowed. "You're safe with me," I said. "You were always safe with me." He leaned back, looked at me like he was checking if I was real. Then he said, "I didn't call him Dad." I blinked fast. "Good," I said. "Because you only have one." Behind him, she was crying. Federal courtroom. Wood flags seal quiet. I sat on the witness stand in a suit. I wanted to wear dress blues, but my lawyer said, "We're not making this a circus." Prosecutor played the audio. You could see the judge get mad. "Captain Mercer," the judge said later, "you abused the trust placed in you as an officer to manipulate a civilian and to destroy the career of an enlisted Marine for your own personal gain. This court finds that reprehensible." I looked at him. He didn't look at me. Emma pled out. When the judge asked her, "Did you make knowingly false statements to NCIS?" she said, "Yes, Your Honor." That was the only time I saw her say something simple and true. "You wanted USMC in this? Here." My battalion commander called me in. "Staff Sergeant Hale," he said. I read the entire case file. "On behalf of the command, I regret that you were confined." "Aye, sir." "The charges are expunged. Your record will reflect that you were cleared. Your pay will be restored." "Aye, sir." "You still want to be a Marine?" I thought about everything. About sitting in a cell while my wife posted beach pics. About watching my son call another man B. About being believed last. But I also thought about my Marines. About my sister being proud her big brother was still in. About my son telling people, "My dad's a Marine." "Yes, sir," I said. "I do." "Then I expect you at PT tomorrow," he said, almost smiling. So here we are. 1 year later. I bought a small house off base. VA loan. Yard. American flag, of course. Gunny Harkins helped me build a deck. Micah's here 3 weeks out of 4. We have routines. Monday, homework plus tacos. Wednesday, movie night. Saturday, beach or base pool. Sunday, we FaceTime Grandpa in Arizona. He still asks sometimes, "Why did Mommy say you were bad?" I tell him, "Because grown-ups make mistakes." "Will she do it again?" "No," I say, "because Daddy kept the proof this time." He laughs. I got a dog. Gunner. 70 pounds of "who hurt you, I will bite them." I transferred out of the line company and into training. I run a class now for junior Marines about relationships, social media, and protecting themselves. I tell them, save screenshots. Don't let anybody else control your narrative. If something feels off, write it down. Don't ever say, "It can't happen to me." Sometimes I tell the story without names. Sometimes I tell it with. This October, we had the Marine Corps ball. I put on blues. Micah saw me and his eyes went huge. "Whoa, you like it? You look like a superhero." "Good," I said. "Because your dad is one." We took pictures. I posted one. Caption. Cleared. Still here. Still a Marine. Semper Fi. Lily commented. "We believed you day one." Warrant Officer Dale liked it. Even my CO threw a thumbs up. Emma didn't comment. She texted later. "I saw your post. I'm glad it worked out for you." I really am. I didn't know it would go that far. I stared at it. Then I wrote. "It went exactly as far as you pushed it." She didn't reply. Last piece of closure? Blake wrote me from prison. I don't expect forgiveness. We both loved her. I just moved faster. I didn't write back. Because yeah, we both loved the same woman. But only one of us was willing to destroy a kid's father to have her. That wasn't me.